Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and if you're watching this, you may already know a little bit about who I am, but I am a PokeMMO player who has played the most popular Pokemon MMO for over 11,000 hours over the past 13 years or so. But what you might not know is that I also used to be a huge fan of Pokemon Tower Defense by Sam and Dan Games. Growing up, I was obsessed with it. It was such a cool, well-balanced, really difficult, but fun Pokemon Tower Defense game. I love Pokemon games, and I love Tower Defense games. It's absolutely perfect. And it has recently come to my attention that there is actually a new Pokemon Tower Defense game on the market, which I cannot wait to try. This is called Pokepath TD. I have seen very little about this game on the internet so far, very few people talking about it. There will be a link first thing in the description if you want to download it and play it for yourself. But I'm going to use my 10 plus years and 10,000 hours of MMO Pokemon experience to judge this game and see how it feels from a balance perspective and just also how fun it is. That's the most important thing. I have selected my character here. You can kind of scroll through and see all the different little icons. I'm going to go with the main character, I believe the guy from Black White 2, since I also need a haircut very similarly to him. And I'm also going to rock Froakie. What's really important is that all of these starter Pokemon, you get Charmander, Trico, or Froakie, so it's cool to see the mixed generation starter options, as well as they all have very different abilities. Charmander says the attacks burn the target for 10 seconds, causing them to lose 0.5% of their HP life per second. So a little bit of a dot or a damage over time style of effect. I'm sure they're all like kind of attributing to different play styles. Trico doubles its power if it's in the tall grass. That's a positioning style thing would be my assumption. I would love to try that out, but I think Froakie is the one that speaks to me the most. The attacks ricochet between enemies with reduced damage. That sounds really cool for kind of like AoE and like multi-targeting. So I want to try this one out today. Looks like we have a little bit of a tutorial. Units 1 out of 8. Defend the route with your Pokemon. Each has different stats. Yup. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and wing this for a fair bit of it. The shop, I guess. Sure. Each time you purchase a new Pokemon, its price will increase. Okay, that is relevant. Maybe I shouldn't skip the tutorial too quickly now. You can have up to 10 active Pokemon in your team as opposed to the normal 5 you would expect in a Pokemon game. And you do store the rest in your boxes. You can switch routes at any time without losing any progress. That was a big thing in Pokemon Tower Defense, was going back to the previous maps to train up and get some XP and go on to the later ones. Pokemon Tower Defense was infamously a very difficult game growing up. Each enemy has unique traits. I think like boss battles. Before starting the wave, check which enemies will appear. You can always see what's coming. Okay, that's cool. You can always change your name and avatar in the future. That's cool. Achievements and stats. That's, ooh. Excited to check those out. The game auto saves. Okay, really cool. That's all. Started with 50 Pokeyen. Use it wisely. Nice little Meowth pick. Let's see how this game plays out. So we have just our Froakie, I believe. Deploy. Okay. You click deploy, and then you choose where you want to put it. So I assume over here, these are red spots. We cannot put them there, I assume. I don't know if putting them in the water matters in the same way that it does for Trico. We have a lot of prep time before the wave actually starts. That's kind of cool. I don't know what these numbers mean up here. I'm sure we'll learn as we go on. This says auto. I don't know what that does. I'm going to click next wave and see. Do I have to actually, like, can I move him, like, here? Oh, whoops. There we go. So can we move him around as the wave comes in? That's a huge thing you'll see in like early game tower defense games like this. Okay, going well so far. I'm going to go ahead and just move him over. I'm not moving him as fast as I could. If I click auto, what does this do? Would this like auto move him for me or something? I didn't really give it a chance to find out, to be fair, like what the rocket ship does. We'll definitely just learn as we go. Move him over here. The Rattata should come around. We should be able to take care of this final Rattata. There's only 3 Rattatas on the first wave, of course. This is Route 1-1, Wave 1. You do need to move around a fair bit. There's already a lot of action just to complete that first wave, which is a good thing. You want it to be decently interactive. I wonder if you can speed up or slow down the game as well. Let's click the... Yeah, so there's that. The rocket is going to speed things up a bit. So if you get a little bit more mechanically into it, you can really focus on the game. Ooh, look at this Golbat getting so far ahead. We're going to try to chase him down a little bit here. Or the Zubat, excuse me. Oh, we gotta be able to make sure we can go slow down. The Zubat's gonna get through. Now, does that cause me damage? I lose an HP. I see the heart up there. So if I had the game a little bit slower, didn't rush it so much, maybe I could have gotten that taken care of. But that's okay. You live and you learn. I'm gonna lose another HP from this Rattata. That's okay. We lost 2 HP. Oh, 2 HP, but I might just have to... Oh, this is getting way hard already. This might have Pokemon Tower Defense vibes, where this game is incredibly hard. Oh my goodness. Really good chains of damage there. Let's see if we can get a few attacks here. It does seem like you have to wait a bit, like, before your attacks can go off. Oh, geez. So if I leave this here, he'll get some chain attacks here. We'll get some attacks down here, but I kind of need to move him with the Pokemon. Oh, I need him to target the Rattatas as well. Am I going to get nothing killed here? Looking like an absolute noob. Getting stomped by these Rattatas and Zubats. Let's get one more attack off there. Okay, let's get over here. Try to get some chains. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, we just missed. Oh my goodness, we are getting obliterated. Let's quickly, now that we know, oh, I dragged it incorrectly. We want to quickly move him right up to that first slot, way quicker. I'm way too slow on that draw there. We're gonna move him after that attack animation. I bet you that matters as well, like waiting for the exact attack animation to finish. We're gonna move him out of here. Get some of these Zubats, get some damage on them, move them over here now. I want to make sure I kill this Zubat. I can't just like spread the damage. I need to actually make sure I can kill these guys. This is what will go down. Beautiful. Get some chip damage across. Oh, it went across the whole map. His ricochet attack really had nice range. I could have moved him for a little bit there, but I want to make sure that I get rid of these Rattatas. This went a lot better than the last one. Okay. We're already getting a little bit better. Not a lot better, but a little bit better. We're already seeing that improvement. We'll move this over here so we can try to get these guys taken care of. I'm gonna get it over here. I just dodged that attack accidentally. Oh, still so much HP. Immediately move him up here. I'm assuming we'll get access to Pokemon very, very soon. Can I actually access the shop now is the question. Buy a random new mon for 10. Oh my goodness, yes. That's what I'm doing wrong. I see. No wonder this game was so hard. You're telling me I could have had more Pokemon this entire time? Oh my goodness. Well, that's going to make it a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, you got to just live and learn with new games like this. It was much different in Pokemon Tower Defense. You'd have to actually take a bit more time, like buy Pokemon in between. You usually couldn't change the mons you had added there. This guy is going to be really tanky. We're going to move all of our mons down here. I'm going to move the Patrouski here ideally. Ooh, but I don't think you can't switch your Pokemon that seamlessly. That's a little unfortunate. I would have loved to be able to left click my Patrouski there, trade him off with my Girafarig, and then just have them switch, but that is not how the game mechanic worked, unfortunately. That's okay. We could have taken care of that Geodude if I played that a bit better, but we did not do that. That is okay. We're going to immediately move our mons up here as fast as possible. We cannot double up Girafarig. We can put, ooh, really cool little note of, like, small little thing, but really interesting game design. You can put Patrouski in the water, but you cannot put Girafarig or Spoink there. Obviously, that matters a lot. Let's move this down here because you want to make sure that Spoink and Girafarig are in both of these two little green fenced off slots, and make sure you save Patrouski for the water slot to give you more access to more attacks in that little early game location. So already strategy being implemented in like the early game like this so much so fast. I almost wish I could like pause or like slow this down. It's so fast, but that's kind of like, we call that a skill gap. If I'm over here like, oh no, I'm losing because I'm not fast enough, that's not a sign of bad game design. Or it's the opposite. Oh, the Spoink can go over here. Ah, Spoink is my only mon that can go over here. Okay, interesting. I would love to try to buy more. I'm at 80. I'm at 170 gold. We get an Absol. Very difficult game to learn. That is definitely like a, you know, very, very complicated game to learn. But I'm assuming very rewarding if you can actually learn it properly. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to move all these mons. Having to move all these mons around. What if I click auto? Will that do anything for me? Trying to move all these mons around at the same time is challenging. It truly, truly is. Getting more mons is helping though. We're at 142 gold. It seems like you almost always want to buy a new Pokemon as soon as you can afford it. 134 is what we're currently looking at. We can move the Girafarig over here. I almost want to swap the Patrouski, but yeah, if I try to do that, it's going to do that. Let's move all of our mons back. You've survived a total of 6 waves. I did not last very long. You must clear at least 25 to unlock the retry option. Wow. Oh, but you keep your Pokemon. I see. Okay. So there is going to be a really strong sense. Okay. A really strong sense of general progression. So it's going to not be like a, I always confuse roguelike and roguelite. But from my understanding, this should be a lot like a roguelike and not like a roguelite, where you do carry over a lot of progress. You carry over progress in between each runs, and the more you grind, the more you play, the higher chances of victory will become. And now, since we lost, we can actually take our proper time and really figure out like where do we want to place our Pokemon and things like that. Ooh, it is also bound to the key slots, I just realized. So if I press 1 on my keyboard, I get to, ooh, learning hotkeys for this. Are you kidding me? This game has like really good mechanical depth. So if I press like the 4 key, it toggles my Absol. If I press 5, it's going to toggle my Gulpin. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all trigger these different Pokemon. At 40 stars, you get another slot. I don't know what 40 stars quite means. I have 6 of them. Oh, is it the total waves survived so far? I figured out what auto does. Auto just continues you to the next wave automatically, so you don't have to click like next wave. Okay, that's fine. Well, look how much better we're doing now. We've gained that progress from actually having our, you know, buying more Pokemon, developing, We're getting so much better, so much faster. This has been an absolute blast so far. And then this is where, before, the speed up was way too much. I was so overwhelmed. But this is a point where I might be able to actually go ahead and go for that speed up. It's going to double your attack speed as well as double the speed the Pokemon come in at. So it's not actually going to make it like double harder, right? It's just going to make it like, now I don't have to move anything. I don't have to move anything. I think Gulpin also, I think this poison the Pokemon. Every single Pokemon has its own unique effect. Are you kidding me? Spoink can hit invisible Pokemon. Are you serious? Girafarig shoots projectiles at up to 2 enemies at once and curses them, deals damage to all cursed enemies. You can level up the Why does this game have so much depth? What? The strat. Oh, you can also change the targeting. Wait, what? Burst versus low HP, high HP. This game is incredibly skill intensive. I'm just really, really impressed for a Pokemon Tower Defense game that I've not. This is like already showing. I love Pokemon Tower Defense. It's my baby. I grew up with it, right? It's already showing more promise, more strategy, more. You nickname them. That's pretty cool. More strategy. You know what? We'll actually nickname a few of these Pokemon after some Twitch viewers of mine. Why not? A way to show some love. Man, this game has been a freaking blast so far, but I do want to take a little bit of time to actually just explore the menu before we head into this next wave. By going over once the data and like the different abilities, I can't believe that every Pokemon has their own ability. So each attack on the same target causes additional damage, so repeating the same attacks. You can level up the mons individually, which increases power, recharge, and critical. I'm assuming power is just damage dealt, recharge is probably attack speed, and critical is some sort of critical, the chance to deal critical damage, chance to deal double damage, similar to a normal Pokemon. Let's go check. We have our accounts page where we can view all kinds of statistics, from time played to stars earned to Pokemon owned to highest level, total levels, total goal. This is so impressive to me that this game could have so much depth, and I've just not seen a whole lot of. I mean, it's off my radar. I'm so impressed. And you can unlock stars. So as you at 10 stars, you unlock the next route, and then 300. Wow, this ramps up fast. From 0 stars to 10 to 300 to 50 to 100. Oh, I guess they kind of have different values. Okay. And then we have a little statistics page over here. I wonder if this is like total damage done or like enemies defeated. I'm not sure exactly what that entails. What if we can actually just let's start the next wave and see if we see this number go up. Yeah, that's going to be, well, Gulpin had a big, I think it's going to be the amount of like damage done, the amount of like effort, like the help that Pokemon actually put into the team. I'm gonna slowly get chipped down from some poison, but there we go, taken on by Froakie. Beautiful. You can access your PC by just clicking this big box right here, team management. And I bet you can access everything like while in the middle of the waves, which is pretty interesting. So you really can like adjust. Like, let's say there's gonna be one wave that's full of fire Pokemon and then the next full of water. You can switch out, you know, water types in the first wave and then like electric types in the second wave, and really have full customization and readjust. And that opens up the ability for the developers to really make things extra challenging. If you have the more control and versatility you have as a player, the more challenging and difficult the developers can then make those things for you to overcome. The layers of strategy here is just really impressive to me. Let's go ahead and just get back into it. Let's keep grinding a few. I'm gonna have it on 2x speed. Let's just use our new powered up Pokemon to grind through. I'm gonna save up for another new Pokemon at 186. It's also interesting that it's like random Pokemon, so like the idea of it's gonna stay interesting to keep buying Pokemon from the shop over and over again as much as possible. I need to make sure I can get that. Whew, a little nervous there. That Zubat taken care of. Even though I'm on that 2x speed, I'm just gonna keep cranking into the next waves. I still don't know exactly what these do yet, but I'm sure we'll learn about that here in the future. And if you go click on the stats part again, you can double click it to find this route 1 and then wave 6. You can just check and see the exact, like all the exact stats of all the enemies. So the Zubats have 61 HP, 1.5 speed. They drop 6 gold apparently on each kill. The Geodudes drop 8 gold. They have 212 armor. That's what that blue bar is. The armor, and then 81 HP. You can also sort Pokemon in your boxes by where they can actually stand on the terrain. So we can see my 2 grass mons, Absol and Spoint. You can just search for them easily if you're looking for a specific mon on a specific surface for specific maps. Okay, but let's stop oodling and ogling and admiring all of the game design. Let's just go ahead and actually grind out a little bit and get a little bit stronger to see what else this game has to offer. My only complaint so far, and maybe I don't know, maybe it is possible, I actually just don't know yet. I wish I could move which hotkey was which Pokemon. So like, for example, I want my 2 field Pokemon to be on hotkey 2 and 3, and I could rebind the hotkeys, but I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to move what slot these Pokemon are in the party, if that makes sense. So if I could move this Absol and switch places with the Girafarig, that would make it a lot easier to just press 2 and 3 on my keyboard, and that would bring out both my field mons, and I could like replace them way quicker versus having to go 2 and 4, which is a little less intuitive. But that's obviously an extremely small and extremely niche complaint. So we're going to go ahead and just not worry about that too much and just keep enjoying this pretty fantastic game. We're going to buy our 6th Pokemon, Spinda. Not super powerful, I'd assume, but I could be wrong. Let's see where we can actually put this Pokemon. It can stand on the mountains. Is that our first mountainous Pokemon? Oh, I guess we had the Absol and Spoink could also be up there. Gotcha. We're now left with 118 gold. We're going to jump into this next wave here. 118 gold. The next mod is 244. And you do want to spend, I assume, some gold actually leveling up your Pokemon, not just always buying new stuff. I think Absol's do. Let's actually double check our stats and see like what mon do we really want to upgrade? What's doing the most damage? We want to actually, speaking of upgrades and stuff, we're going to move some of our Pokemon alongside these mons as they move on. So we're going to try to do the best we can. Froakie. We're going to move Spoink down here since everything has moved past. Girafarig can now get moved. Gulpin's still doing good damage. Beautiful. We can keep this here for a quick sec, and that should be, we can actually move Spoink over here if we need to. Perfect. Another wave completed. This time we're at 7. And it seems like a lot of things are doing pretty like equal, but Spoink is actually showing up. Spoink, how are you doing so much damage? Your power is just 33. Whoa. Is that just the hidden strat? Is it level 1? Ah, so you can also get evolutions. Got you. So level 16 we'll see for, that's a lot of gold though, a lot of money to get that to eventually evolve. Do I want to put money into this Spoink? This thing is already doing a ton of damage. Do I want to even out my damage across the board? So Spoink's doing 33 per attack. I'm assuming it takes a very long recharge 1 point. Let's compare some things. Like recharge, yeah, so it seems like Spoink attacks slowly but really powerfully. And then the range is 120 versus 110 on Froakie. Interesting. Hey, what's my highest ranged mon? I feel like Absol could be really interesting. On this, I like its ability a lot. Each attack on the same target causes additional damage. I feel like Absol could be a really good Pokemon for bosses. And I'm assuming we haven't gotten there yet. We're kind of on our little AoE arc, right? But I'm assuming once it reaches a certain point in the game, there will be these giant Pokemon with really high HP pools. So I like the idea of kind of leveling up my Absol, even though it won't work me towards an evolution, which is kind of boring, you know, but it will just give me good stats and allow me to take on those boss mons more. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, but I also want to spread around the level. It's Absol level 3, but I want to spread some level a little bit here. I don't really care for the Spinda a whole lot. It does have a crazy range of, oh my goodness, of 301. Show your stuff, King. I mean, I guess you got to respect a specialist. That is pretty darn cool. But I don't know if I care enough to make Spinda that good. I don't know what the meta is for this game. I don't know if there is a meta. I don't know if it's discovered. Let's see. I like the idea of, I feel like the poison could do a lot. I'm going to go ahead and actually put a level up here. That'll also work us towards the Swalot very slowly and eventually. And I'll put a level up into a Froakie because it's our starter Pokemon. I like its ability. And you know what? It's a Froakie. Why not? Let's jump into the next wave and see if we can keep going. This is the furthest we've made it so far by far. And I forgot, I made a major mistake and forgot to move my Pokemon around properly. Hopefully I can still do enough damage here to actually take care of them. That was a major mistake on my end. Oh, I might lose because of that. One mistake like that, and oh, but Spinda, they're kind of putting in the work. I only took 1 HP of damage there, and it's the first HP of damage I've taken so far. And look at that difference. I've taken 1 HP of damage so far, whereas last time I lost on star 6. I am sleeping on Spinda's range. This Pokemon is kind of putting in work. I'm going to give it some level ups. Oh, it's also extremely cheap to level up. Could Spinda be the meta of Pokepath Tower Defense, at least for early game? Maybe it's an early game Pokemon and it falls off later. That would make a lot of sense with no evolutions. I'm going to throw on that double speed and try to speed through some of these waves. I might need to move down some Pokemon here if need be. Bunch of Rattatas here, though. These should get obliterated. They're getting obliterated before they can even reach the Froakie spot. And Spinda has this crazy range. I want to see if it comes into play here. In come the Geodudes. Tons of Geodudes with tons of HP. I could have scoped out what was coming out a little bit faster, a little bit better here as well. I did not really take the time to properly do that. I do want to move around my Spoink. I'm getting a little bit better at that with my hotkeys. We'll move these down here. We can move our Gulpin as well. Our Spinda down here is totally fine. Our Girafarig, we will manually click that one. Not as clean, not as fast, but still good progress. Now we need to move everything back after each wave, though, is when we do that is the problem. And if you really wanted to, you probably don't have to move your Pokemon. You could just let yourself take some HP and not really worry about it. But if you put in the more effort per more reward, you could just like mindlessly grind this. You could probably treat this game like an idle game and just not really care about losing that much and just kind of change things around whenever you need to. But I really like the idea of like, I feel like this game could have really good elements of more effort equals more reward, which it's already showing me so far. I do want to move these wherever I can. Move the Spinda over here. Oh, over here. There we go. Chingling getting beaten down. We'll move Froakie over here to double click. Beautiful. Wave complete. Was that a boss? That was wave 10. We saw a big chunky guy come in. I have 260 gold now. I could buy a new Pokemon, or I could just level up the ones I currently have, which I kind of lean towards right now. This Spinda is really interesting to me. I can level it up 5 times. Am I putting too much love into the Spinda if I do that? I think this early, yes. I think I'm gonna put it at level 5 for now. I really do like its range. I was sleepy. I did not expect myself to enjoy it that much, but we are gonna put 5 levels into our Spoink and then 1 into our Froakie. And then our poor Girafarig has not been given any love. But then I guess that's a question of, do we want to just skip out on Girafarig and eventually replace it? You don't want to put too many resources into a mon that will eventually be replaced, but I'm sure they'll all be useful at different locations. That's the beauty, I guess, is with Pokemon, these will be stored in your boxes. And if you put too many levels into a Pokemon that you know, quote unquote, can't use or can't utilize yet, maybe in the future, a normal psychic type mon like Girafarig will be weirdly perfect against some sort of ghost type attacker or some sort of mon that, you know, it's immune to or can really line up well against. So for now, I'm not going to over worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and just put some gold into it and level up Girafarig. All right, but the grind continues. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into this next wave. We're at wave 10 now for the very first time. We have a lot of Pokemon coming in here. I might want to slow this down as it gets a little bit more difficult here. 10 Rattatas, 10 Zubats, and 10 Judus are all coming in. Those were all destroyed and KO'd without even having to move my Pokemon. It's a good sign. We have 10 Geodudes coming in now. The problem is we have 10 Rattatas that have not even started to come in. So I'm going to have to focus up a bit here. It's going to get a little bit complicated. I'm going to have to lock in, make sure, look, this shield is just not going down nearly enough. I'm going to keep these mons here. They can take care of the Rattatas, but I want to make sure I can jump them around. Once all these Rattatas are down, or maybe even before that, I probably want to go ahead and start jumping some of these Pokemon like this over here as soon as I can. The Spinda's still able to put in work where it's at. The Froakie's still able to put in work. The Gulpin's still putting in some work. We're going to switch our Gulpin now over here. Froakie is still able to put in some work there. We can even move some of our field attackers over in this little grass patch down to the bottom left, but we do get that wave taken care of. Now 12 Doduos. I'm really starting to memorize the hotkeys as well and really figuring out like what Pokemon goes where can I move it, you know, all that jazz. A lot of Doduos coming in. 12 Doduos to represent the 12th wave, I assume. I'm going to move some of these Pokemon just manually. Be a little bit lazy with it. Whatever works. It seems like we will get all these Doduos taken care of, thankfully. Still only 1 HP loss, up to 449. We're exponentially gaining more gold. It is at this point in the video where I want to go ahead and take the time to say, if you guys have not downloaded and aren't playing this game alongside me, I cannot recommend you do it enough. This is just a good Pokemon game. This is a fantastically fun game. I am not sponsored by this game by any means. For some reason, whenever I do a video and I show off, hey guys, check out this cool game, people always ask, oh, are you sponsored? But like, no, if I was sponsored, that would have to be legally disclosed. So I want to make that really clear. This game's just fun. It's just a fun game. Check it out. Play for yourself. Whether you spend an afternoon on it or maybe a few months, you know, have a blast. Video games are meant to be played for fun, and I feel like a lot of times we've been forgetting that over the past few years, and I feel like this is one of those games that really reminds you of what old school little arcadey fun games can be, and just lose an afternoon or a few weeks or a few months or a summer or two. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get back to focusing on progress and see how far I can actually push this game within the first episode. And if you want to see a full series out of this game, let me know by leaving a comment, liking this video, and subscribing for more videos like this one or other Pokemon MMO or Pokemon fan-made game type of content. So we have a lot of Geodudes. I'm actually going to slow this wave down because this might become hectic and difficult very, very soon. All of these mons are still doing damage, so I don't want to move them around too early. The Froakie is actually in a pretty good position to keep dishing out some good damage. The Spoink and the Absol are now behind, so we do want to go ahead and actually move those, and the Gulpin is going to be out of position here very soon. We're going to move that over here. We can actually move these over here a little bit faster, get more damage off a little bit quicker, and then Girafarig can also get moved, and Spinda can also now be moved, and eventually Froakie can also be moved once these guys are out of his range down here if we need to, but we should actually maybe just be good, but just in case, we'll move him down here. We double clicked there on accident. That's okay. We have Absol over here, but we should be good. Spinda is putting in insane amounts of work with that range. I'm so impressed, dude. This is also something that I absolutely love about Pokemon games and Pokemon fan-made games. One of the coolest things in Pokemon is that if you queue up, you know, competitive VGC Pokemon, you're not really going to see Spindas floating around. But if you go play, you know, PokeMMO and you need a utility mon to help you catch an alpha, or you know, are playing Pokemon Path Tower Defense and you need an early game threat that can really spread wide damage, like Spinda, Ledian, you know, Shuckle, these like traditionally terrible Pokemon in certain ways can be really meta defining or really good in certain games when you rebalance things or rebalance formats around them having a chance. Every Pokemon has different strengths and weaknesses, and every Pokemon is someone's favorite. And I love how Pokemon games, different Pokemon games, allow players to utilize their favorites in different ways. Another good example, it might sound silly, but in Pokemon Go, I thought it was one of the coolest things. When I started playing Pokemon Go decently seriously, seeing that Stunfisk was one of the best Pokemon in certain PvP leagues was one of the craziest things to me. That blew my mind, and it's a great example of how different Pokemon can shine in different ways. When in a game like Pokemon Go, defense and being bulky matters a lot more than other offensive traits, at least in PvP. We now have 904 gold, and I'm trying to, or Pokeyen, I guess. I'm trying to think of how I want to spend this. I think one egg is good. Get myself a Sableye. What is that Pokemon's effect? Let me actually go over to my boxes and see, what does this Pokemon have to offer? Show me the data. Curse and enemy deal damage. So you could, ooh, clearly you can build like a full curse team. That's another layer of like team builds. I haven't even gotten to that yet. I haven't even thought about team specific builds yet. I thought about terrain. I thought about, you know, positioning and their different strengths and weaknesses. I had not thought about them synergizing and like trying to get like 6 curse mons that do, you know, extra damage to cursed mons, and like having specifically a Pokemon that curses them at the start. Like I think, yeah, Girafarig does the cursing, right? And then you have a mon like Sableye, which does extra damage and deals damage to all cursed enemies. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I have a whole lot of interest in going into a curse strategy. I'm going to buy one more Pokemon really quick. Clawitzer. Now, I traditionally play Gen 5 and below Pokemon, so this is a Pokemon that I'm not super familiar with. I believe it evolves into Clawitzer, and it's like a is it mono water type? I actually don't know. Field and water. Criticals do twice the damage. I'm going to throw this guy in my team, I think, over Girafarig. I think that'll be a perfect, so we can go ahead and remove unit. Okay, remove unit, add unit. It's as simple as that. And that does switch up our ordering of our Pokemon. So now I do have my field Pokemon over here. Okay, so you can just remove and like you can reorder your team by putting Pokemon in the PC. It's not the nicest, I guess it's not the most UI, you know, easy way to go about that. I wonder if you can actually move them around in here. No, I don't think so. You'd have to, so it's a little bit wonky to remove or change your order of your mons, but that's still okay. Are these different team slots that you would have? Is that what there's like presets of like teams that you could organize? I wonder if that's what that is. Let's see if we can, I don't really see, what's the star do? Just favorites of Pokemon? I don't know exactly what that entails, but sure. Oh, wow. Okay, so Clawitzer, whoa, it has a different style of attack range as well. I did not expect that. That's interesting. This is not very well suited to this map. I guess being over here is not bad. And then being here is interesting because Clawitzer will then attack any Pokemon coming into the map at the start. So I like this position a fair bit for Clawitzer. That'll be super interesting to see how we can utilize that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just try to rock this team like this. Well, I'm going to level up Clawitzer actually a little bit first. Let's see his critical. 25% chance to crit. And it is not going up by level ups. So you can't, interesting. Criticals do twice the damage, but you can't really affect that as much. This seems like a glass, okay, in this tower defense setting, a very glass cannon Pokemon. Its critical rate is very flat. Its damage is going up 25 per level up. That's an insane amount of damage per level up, but it's because he can only do so much damage to so many mons every time. I like the idea of committing, this might be a little greedy, committing to the Clawitzer strategy. And how fast can he attack? If he gets 6 every 6 seconds. So this is one, it's like a sniper shot. It's one big blast of damage every so often. I'm going to slowly jump into this wave so we can really see how much damage Clawitzer does. Is he not getting attacks off? He's not triggering on these Pokemon. He has not attacked once so far. Let's see if it's only down here. Okay, down here he can hit them. Does he reach far enough to attack them again over here? On the right side. I have not seen him throw off a right side attack yet. Maybe Clawitzer was a waste of money to spend on. I'm not super proud of his performance so far, man. Clawitzer, I need you to show up for me, King. No attack there, really? Throw off an attack. Throw off an attack. Clawitzer, you're disappointing me. Or maybe I'm disappointing him and not utilizing him properly. That's something you got to ask when you're learning a game like this. I don't know if I'm utilizing him properly. This could be very well be human error. And that's kind of like the fun part of these games, like learning a new Pokemon game. It's still experiencing like a lot of the, you know, similar Pokemon that we all know and love, but using them in an entirely new way. We've only lost one heart so far, which is still fantastic. Now, I believe this might be our first evolved Pokemon coming in this wave. We have two Eradicates. These have 742 HP apiece. So maybe, just maybe, doing that Clawitzer strategy will help a little bit. I'm going to also buff our Absols. Once again, kind of buffing those high HP, like those mons that are really good against bosses or single targets rather than AoE or spread damage. We already have our Froakie. Was that a Clawitzer attack? I swear that like we saw a huge piece of damage there. Yup, Clawitzer does hit the mons up here. We saw a huge attack against that Raticate. Okay. Clawitzer is showing up today. Let's see if we can get another. Yep. Okay. It was so fast there, but that was huge. We're going to move a lot of these mons now. I got to move them way faster. Clawitzer is actually making this possible, in my opinion. He's doing a ton of damage here. Move our Gulpin. Oh, okay. Clawitzer. I was shitting on him. My dearest apologies, my crab friend. You showed the fuck up that time. You carried that wave. We have 2 Raticates and then 30 other mons coming in. Whew, this is going to be a lot tougher. And if you go over to the menu and go over to the credits, you can actually click on the developer's name right here, Kydra, and it'll take you over to their Twitter. And you can see that they actually released Pokemon Path Tower Defense back in August 1st of 2025. So still really recently, but this post got 28 likes. This guy has 181 followers, and he's releasing a really good, really fun, really well-balanced Pokemon Tower Defense game. He has a Discord, and you can see it even got shouted out by a Pokemon like fan game Twitter account, and this post got 4.4k likes, a lot of attention, and I'm still shocked. I think this game is so underrated. I think he's doing a great job, and I'm excited to explore more of it. All right, but our journey continues. Let's just go ahead and keep going. We have 2 Raticates. That's the only thing I'm really worried about here. Look how fast these Zubats are now going down. I think it was partially due to that Clawitzer damage, though, coming out. We're at 250 Pokeyen here. I'd love to spend some money on some upgrades. I think I could also spend money on upgrades in the middle of the wave. That's kind of crazy. I want to put some more upgrades into Spoink, get it closer to an evolution, or honestly, any Pokemon. Getting closer to an evolution would be really cool to see. I do need to start moving some of these mons. I'm really confident that I can kill these Raticates before, or not Raticates. I'm really confident that I can kill these Zubats with just passive damage over time, so I'm not worried about that. What I am really worried about is these Raticates. These require so much damage to KO. The Zubats will happen passively over time. The Raticates need more personal attention. I actually want to go ahead and oh no, made a big mistake here. Hopefully it's still okay. One Raticate's gonna get through. I was trying to move the Clawitzer over in time, but I did not. Also, I didn't have my single target abusing Pokemon, the Absol, which gets more and more damage the more it attacks on the same target. I didn't have that over in that bottom slot, so that was a skill error on why that Raticate made it through. And that's a beautiful thing. Something you should be experiencing when you're learning a game is, oh, I lost because I was bad. Mad because bad, you know? Like I made a mistake, therefore I lost. That's a good mental thing to assign to new players. It shouldn't be, oh, I lost, what happened? Oh, I lost, what did I don't know what I did wrong, I'm confused. That's a bad thing for a game to send a signal to its players. So for me to notice that I lost and immediately be able to analyze, oh yeah, it's because I didn't play properly. I didn't move around my single target mons. I didn't prioritize my teams in the way that they're literally supposed to be played and meant to be played. That makes total sense. Of course I lost. All right, I did let a Bellsprout go through. We took care of almost all of the other Pokemon. Then we have 2 big Raticate once again coming through. These Bellsprouts are also pretty tanky, so things are just getting harder. These Bellsprouts have 477 HP, half the Raticates on each of them. These are not just like the Zubats or Rattatas. These are pretty bulky boys. I could be trolling here, but I'm going to put a little bit more love into our Gulpin / Swalot. I do want to work towards an evolution here where possible, and I probably should try to figure out what mon. I don't know if it's better to like level everything up alongside each other or just hard focus and get one level up or one evolution. I don't know what's really better here, so we're kind of just learning things step by step. So far, I've been spreading out the love. Spoink level 12, Froakie level 3, Abs level 5, Gulpin or Swalot level 7, Spin level 5, and Clawitzer also, or Clauncher, sorry, also level 5 so far. I need to be a little bit quicker on my hotkeys here, make sure I can move these mons around. The biggest one looking at is Spoink. Once things move past Spoink like that, we're going to move him over to the mountain. People have also moved past Absol. We're going to move that. Gulpin needs to get moved as well. Spinda can also be moved there. That's fine. Froakie and Clawitzer are fine where they're at for the most part. Get big chip damage there on the Bellsprout. We're looking good here. This went way better. This was way better this time. This one moves down here. It should get hit by the Clawitzer attack or not quite yet. We should be. There we go. There's a big Clawitzer. As long as Clawitzer can get off like a few attacks on these guys, it just makes things so much easier on those big bossy tanky boys. All right, and the next up we have our first nose pass coming in. Only 53 HP, but 500. I knew there was gonna be some gimmick. 515 armor. So we're at wave 20. I'd love to get to wave 25 here and unlock the next. I think I will be able to. I've only lost 3 HP so far out of a total. How much total do you even have? 6, 7? Is it 14? That's a weird number. But I think you start with 14. Oh! I made a big mistake. Oh no, I was just talking about how excited I am. Oh no, 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 no. I was so proud and so excited. Oh my goodness. To have like done so well this time. Oh man, that's such a bummer. That is actually so sad. I have to like kind of lock in a little bit to try to save this, but I don't even know if it's possible. I need to move my Absol immediately. One big mistake like that and it's so freaking punishing. But it's skill-based. It's skill-based, man. You can't even be that upset, you know? I made a mistake, therefore I probably deserve to lose. Oh my goodness, the damage I'm going to lose here is so unfortunate. Can I move this anywhere? I'm going to try to move that there and then move this down here. It manually is so much slower to move things manually than to use your hotkeys. I'm trying to use my hotkeys whenever I can. How did I save this? I can't believe that. I can't believe I didn't take some HP damage there. That was so lucky. I looked away for 2 seconds and I totally forgot to move my Pokemon back to their starting positions. I probably should have been punished there, but hopefully due to the level ups and other progress that I've made, maybe I was able to avoid that. It's hard to tell, but got a little lucky there, that's for sure. Next up, we have 3 Chinglings coming in, 378 HP, no armor. Also, the speed on each mod is different, so they move at different rates. 756, we're looking pretty good here. Let's just go ahead and jump into this. Even put the rocket up a little bit. Let's make this a little bit faster so we can just grind through. The Chingling's getting pretty well obliterated, but they're decent. I'm going to lower the speed here as soon as I do that. I do want to move some mods. What can I even... I think I just have to let the Chinglings take their space a little bit here. Then I'll move things around when I can. Spoink can now get moved, for example. The Absol can now get moved. That's fine. Gulpin can now get moved, but it takes a sec a lot of the times for things to actually be in the range to get moved. Like Clawitzer is still doing damage. The Chinglings are going to get through. Oh, man, I was really hopeful there. I was feeling really strong, but these Mons are doing so much damage. Clawitzer, come on, you can get an attack. You can get an attack off from there. Huge. You can get attacks over here. I think we're fine. We only took one. Did we take 2 hearts of damage recently? This Raticate's going to get through. I can't stop that. That's fair. Okay, I am down to 8 HP. We are at wave 22. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to wave 25, but I will try my best. I need to do some upgrades here. All right, let's go ahead and try it. Actually, before we do, let me actually make sure I remember to put in my upgrades. Where do I want to put my upgrades right now? Do I want to give a little bit of extra help to Spinda, who's been putting in a ton of work? Yeah, 11 damage. Okay, maybe Spinda is the early game monster that I need it to be. I'm a little scared of it falling off with no evolutions and kind of wasting the Pokeyen input, but right now, I would love to just get to wave 25. I feel like that would be a really cool first milestone here. Bellsprout's getting obliterated. Well, the one Bellsprout is by Clawitzer, but the rest are getting very slowly chipped down. These Mons are so tanky. Spoink here still putting in work. I have to keep an eye out and also know what Mons can be moved where, right? That's a big thing with this. Clawitzer can get an attack off here in a quick sec. I'm still getting damage off, so I don't want to move anything yet. But I might need to. I think I need to move this. I need to move this. We'll put this here. Gulpin can get moved here in a quick sec. Down here, sure. Spinda can also get moved here in a quick sec. Beautiful. Oh, come on. Take care of this. This Bellsprout. Pretty please. Oh, the Bellsprout. Don't let it get away. No. Oh, it's a bummer. That is a huge bummer that Bellsprout got away. And all these Raticates are going to get through as well. I'm just not strong enough. That's okay. I'm not strong enough. That's what this game is about. I'm going to take the L here in a quick sec. I made it to wave 21 versus wave 6 on my first run. I'm still very, very happy with that. We made a lot of progress, got a ton stronger. But there we get sent back to square one, at least in terms of the routes. We're still on Route 1. We haven't made any progress, I don't think, in terms of the map. Can we even unlock? We can actually head over to Route 2. Oh, Route 1/2, excuse me. And then how far does this game go? Does it only go to Route 3/3? Is there more beyond this? I guess that would be the only disappointing part about this game would be if it only goes to Route 3/3. The only disappointing part would be if there's not enough content in the game, because the game is so good, I want to keep playing it. That would be the only thing for me, but at the same time, I guess I was looking at to see if these were gym badges. These are mostly just achievements. Defeat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe there's a lot more to this game than I notice. I wonder if there are so many boss battles apparently. Defeat Articuno, defeat Zapdos, defeat Moltres. What does each of these have a boss battle? Or is it like only 1-3? Like the final one has one? I'm not sure. And I can't wait to find out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you can't wait to find out. If you want to play this game, once again, I cannot recommend it enough. It should be linked first thing in the description. Pokepath TD. And if you enjoyed this video, if it helped you find the game, help you get inspired to play the game, help you grind something new on a nice little afternoon, like this video. It helps me tremendously. Subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon fan-made game content, usually PokeMMO, every single day. I also stream, not usually stuff like this, but I do stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET on Twitch, if you want to check that out. And if you want to go above and beyond and make stuff like this content possible, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, PayPal, and Venmo do go an extremely long way. But for now, I will see you guys later. Have a great day and enjoy Pokepath TD. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.